Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of the Moreno Show. Guys, I am feeling good today, even though I just had to pay an arm and a leg for taxes and my haircut lady wasn't there today, so I'm looking a little bit more raggedy than usual, and I do apologize. But guys, it is a good day nonetheless because we have an exclusive interview with RFK Jr. from CBS, and I think it's incredible. He talks about the future of vaccines in this clip, and in another moment, they talk a little bit about healthcare and kind of some barriers in that space. And I really want us to talk about this because RFK Jr. here advocates for personal responsibility, and I think this is really interesting. And I think there's some points to be made there. And I also want us to again give a little update on what's happening in the stock market in terms of the tariffs and how the White House is responding to this. And there's this other moment that made me so happy today, guys. President Trump received a question from a reporter who I have just grown to love so much. You could probably recognize this guy's content through his voice, and I just think it's incredible. And I do want to show some love right there. But we are going to start to hear in this little short clip with RFK Jr. talking about the future of vaccines. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Also, guys, before I play this, please consider liking and subscribing. It's one of the best ways you can help me out. All right, thank you so much, and let's get into it.
Federal government's position, my position is people should get the measles vaccine, but if the government should not be mandating.
Understand.
You know what I've always said during my campaign and every public statement I've made, I'm not going to take people's vaccines away from them. Right. What I'm going to do is make sure that we have good science so that people can make an informed choice. And we are doing that science today so that we know the risks of that product, and we also know what the benefits are. And right now, we don't know the risks of many of these products because they're not safety tested.
So I love this for a couple reasons, but I think my main reason is that RFK Jr., he's been fairly consistent here, right, in terms of his position on vaccines all throughout his campaign. And whenever he was running alongside President Trump, he was saying the same thing. He is for vaccines. He just wants to make sure that they are safe. So I did find it a little bit ironic whenever a lot of people were, giving him a hard time because of, his kind of people are saying, oh my gosh, he's changing his position. I'm like, no, he isn't. He is actually, he has been for vaccines, and he said that he will actually change his mind if he is exposed to new data and a new science that actually confirms this finding. And at the same time, he also wants to make sure that this is an incredibly transparent process. And he has also said during the campaign that there shouldn't be any mandates. Like I'm just seeing like so many of the boxes are actually being checked here. So I do think this is to me, this is expected, but it's also really nice whenever your expectations are made. It's just really nice when someone in government actually does what they say they are going to do. I think that's great. So here's another moment where the interviewer actually asks him kind of a gotcha question, because in this space, I think the HHS is always, they're always kind of catching flack from like, oh my, why isn't there universal healthcare? What are you going to do to make sure that the most impoverished people actually have access to healthcare? And I feel like it always puts them in kind of this pickle where you don't want to overpromise, but you also don't want to kind of under deliver in your sentiment. And I do think RFK Jr. does a pretty good job of answering this question. Check this out.
The basic level of care every American should receive, and who should pay for it?
When it comes to healthcare, that's a difficult question because people have a choice about how sick they're going to be. Many people. If you don't have any choice, then then we should give you all the resources that you want. But I mean, it's a moral question too, and it's a philosophical question. If you're smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day, should you expect society to pay when you get sick?
Maybe pay for you to help stop smoking.
Or should we encourage people? Should we incentivize people to take care of themselves? And then when they get sick, make sure they're taken care of.
So I do think this is really fascinating, because now you're talking about incentivizing health. And I just feel like I've never really heard that conversation to be had at this level. And one of the things that here's one of my ideas that I think are just like really practical. Should most people not have access to some sort of gym account? Like if they can't genuinely pay for the gym themselves, like how else are they supposed to exercise? Like could there not be some sort of government funded access card that you can have if you're someone who is in poverty, or you're someone who genuinely cannot afford to go to the gym? Like, I don't know, should they not be able to have access to the equipment to be able to live a healthier lifestyle? I don't know. Maybe that's kind of a hot take. All right, maybe it is, but you guys could go ahead and let me know what you think about that one. It's just something that I've been thinking a lot about. Like, maybe are public gyms the answer? But I don't know. I don't know. Are all gyms public just because you could actually go in? I don't know, because you gotta pay for it. You need a membership. People have enough membership. There's a lot of barriers here, if you ask me. But I did want to share this moment next with the press secretary, because she really defends President Trump's tariffs as the stock market really soars today, which is crazy. But check this out.
If I could just add to what the secretary said, many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China, when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even higher. If I could just...
Wow. So if in case you missed that news, I did want to share it. So President Trump shared this on Truth Social. This today at 1:18 p.m. Eastern time. Check this out. I'll just go to read the whole thing. President Trump says, based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world's markets, I am hereby raising the tariff charge to China by the United States of America to 125%, effective immediately. At some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States, including the Departments of Commerce, Treasury, and USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs, and that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States, I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%, also effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Holy smokes. There is so much information here. I love that the White House highlighted essentially two parts, the beginning and the end, upping the tariffs on China to 125% from the previous 104%, as well as the 90-day pause to all the countries who have actually not retaliated. And I just think this is incredibly fascinating, and that is also why the markets have reflected so in the green today, right? And this is crazy. We are definitely living in wild times. Holy smokes. And now I did want to go ahead and talk about this one moment that really, really made me smile. This is kind of the positive politics aspect of this, because I love doing that. Someone asked President Trump a question, and I was just watching this, and I immediately knew who it was, and this made me really proud of this person. Check it out.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades. How come when these Democrat elites want tariffs, everything's hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs, all hell breaks loose? Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy. Whoever the hell that is. That's really nice. I appreciate that question. No, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts to do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about See, just be cool. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. It's really, I think it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country is going to be, there'll be nothing like it. And people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before.
Wow. Now, if you guys don't know, not only you guys probably got distracted because the question was actually so amazing, but it is by none other than Link Lauren, who I believe was was a former senior advisor to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s campaign. So if you guys follow the campaign closely or consume some of his pretty iconic viral videos, it's very possible that Link Lauren was the brainiac behind it, kind of the person on edge in terms of the communication and the messaging. And now today he's at the White House. And I think this is so amazing. This is just great. And this opens up so many doors for young people to be in this space, to be invited in these conversations. And this really just this creates so much impact in terms of how new voices are being assured and elevated as part of the national conversation. So this is really exciting stuff. And the fact that President Trump said, I love this guy, whoever the heck it is, this is just amazing. So I'm really proud of Link Lauren, and I think this is awesome. Anyways, guys, let me know what you thought about this conversation. I know we're kind of a little bit all over the place. Maybe it's a little bit of a smaller, shorter video, but nonetheless, I still think this conversation was great, and I'm so happy to be able to have this conversation with you guys. So tell me what you think about this, from RFK Jr.'s CBS exclusive interview to President Trump's and the White House's response to tariffs. And I will see you all next time. All right, guys. Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.